I mean, Tiny TA in a lane, it's very TA favored. Later on, with the Avalanche, you can churn through a bunch of refraction charges, but
10
it
seconds
really does go back
remaining.
and forth. It depends how the fight gets set up. Basically, if you're not using Avalanche
5
onto the
seconds
TA, she's going to be
remaining.
able to man fight you every single day of the week.
We do see their Execration, at least they've been able to guarantee a form of initiation. So we've seen Pango be flexed in multiple roles, but more than likely, at least just having Tino and some offlane initiator seems to be what they like to give him
Dire
priority
team
on.
pick.
Tino has played some
Radiant
different
team pick.
styles. I think they've given him the Necrophos a couple times, but it really does seem to be they just prioritize him as being an initiation hero, so they don't have to worry about that too much now with the Pango early.
Like the Bane, though. Enfeeble good against Tiny. Honestly, Enfeeble good against Pugna
10
as well.
seconds remaining.
Just a way to enable rotations to be able to take out a target, right? I mean,
5
Coddle's one of those
seconds
heroes that
remaining.
needs a little bit of setup. So if you go mid Coddle, Boots of Travel, you play the style that we saw from God, who was it? Who was the player that was just standing on his own for the longest time and caught people out as they were looking to rotate?
I don't remember,
You,
honestly.
you know what I'm talking about, though, right? Like they were in a shadow amulet on their
Oh,
Radiant
wrists. I think it
team
was
pick.
Eastern Europe.
Dire
it
Was
might
it
have been
solo?
solo, maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what's going on?
Storm Spirit.
Offlane Bloodseeker?
I suppose I'm a bit surprised. KMP would not be much of a fan. I'm sure he'd be hoping to play the Bloodseeker. We haven't seen Motivate try and flex to
10
Tiny.
seconds
I
remaining.
Is it a
suppose
4 Tiny?
5 seconds
they
remaining.
definitely have
I
that
feel like
route.
these. Have these picks really stopped a Tiny? I don't think so.
We've seen, I think, Execration, they liked the. I'm almost certain they picked it yesterday, the Puck. Someone picked the Puck yesterday to try and deal with the Tiny. Witchblade is okay. You get a little bit of percent damage, nothing crazy, but they don't really have any answers to the Puck at the moment, and Bob has a very good Puck.
Sure, but if you get caught, you're done, right? Like this puck just gets melted underneath a Tiny if she does eventually get caught. So it really does go down to the individual skill. And hell, maybe Bob's played a few pubs today. Maybe he's feeling himself.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, we know Bob when he's on his A game, he
5
can look
seconds
superb
remaining.
as a position to can really take it up to any of the mid laners. But like you said, yeah, they're gonna ban out the are they gonna get the last pick Terrorblade? They won't have that possibility to those Motivate take care of it in the last phase of ban. So we are still looking for our Palos hero.
Does the damage needed to be able to take care of this Tiny
Dire
still?
team ban.
Not a bristle. It's a stretch, but Palos has played Doom position 1 before, and it's not bad against a Storm, and it's not bad against a Tiny if it gets late
10
enough.
seconds remaining.
Yeah,
I'm clutching at straws here.
5
oh, yeah, I
seconds
definitely see where
remaining.
you're coming from though. I think the only issue is being able to chase heroes down
Radiant
with
team pick.
with Doom, and if they rupture him,
You got a puck to enable that, and you want to use Rupture on the Pango, right?
yeah. But if Rolling Thunder's not there, then you're happy to rupture the Doom. There's multiple targets that he could be considering.
10
What
I
a
just
seconds
feel
motive.
like you don't
remaining.
take a fight though if you don't have Rolling Thunder, right?
What do you
Like,
reckon
5 seconds
Motivator
remaining.
going for with the 23rd pick?
I think they're still tossing up where exactly they want lanes to go. If they're picking up a support, they've gotten rid of the Lion and the Shadow Shaman, right? Realizing that they have nothing to be able to control this puck right now. So is there anything else instant that you're seeing? Nyx, maybe?
Yeah, we've seen the Nick Storm combo. Be nice to hunt the Bane, get the jump, hunt the Coddle. I wouldn't hate it, honestly. I think your support duo could be a bit rough, though. Pugna Nyx.
Dire
Yeah.
team pick.
League's assassin.
Good call.
We got to both have one. You know, you had your great Dark Seer call. Didn't work out for Motivate, and wonder if it'll be the same for me with them being able to drop this game. All right. No, they don't have the greatest push lineup already. I
10
was about to say, like,
seconds
do you
remaining.
now just abuse the fact that they can't stop the push?
5
What do you go
seconds
into this?
remaining.
Is it a one Underlord? Is it a?
It's rough when we're suggesting a one underlord. That just shows us there's not much.
There's not much left. There's Sven, maybe?
Not against Bloodseeker.
No, I know, but I'm trying. I'm trying to think of something. Chaos Knight? Gyro.
Choose your hero.
It's you don't mind about being ruptured. Like
Yeah.
there's other heroes that are better into the rupture, but Gyrocopter's definitely not the worst. You have a pretty strong lane as well, so I wonder how much Mastros is really going to get out of it, considering like Gyro and Bane are going to do a lot of damage into the Bloodseeker and the Nyx, especially because Nyx isn't a good laner either, and they don't have really a way to set up for Blood Riot. Like if you had a guaranteed stun into Blood Riot, that's pretty much a third, almost half of someone's health, and you can kind of play the lane off that, dwindling the resources. But I feel like it's a nice safe lane for Execration, but how can he go overall in the game versus the Tiny?
I mean, I think. Sorry, just before I get to that point, I think a big part of how this game is going to turn out is how well Tigger in particular plays that lane, right? Like if he gets level 2, and you're looking to try and get aggressive with, the Rocket Barrage, just one point in the Spike Carapace might give Masros the space that he needs to be able to retreat, or you get the stun off, immediately Blood Right, immediately into the Impale. That could be enough to start turning a lot of the aggression back the other way, but you miss. Honestly, you give him one missed skill shot in this lane. Beyond that, if you're mucking it up, you're probably going to lose the game. Later on, though, I am still a little bit worried about the Gyro taking on the Tiny. Tiny just feels much stronger. It feels like maybe some of their turnaround potential is going to need to come. Already assuming that they're going to be hitting up into the high ground on
Prepare for battle.
Motivate.Trust side, but I don't know. I honestly, it's very hard to read this one. It's a good puck game, but yeah, everything's on the back of Tigger for mine. He didn't play a bad Clockwork last game. Getting that Age of Steel, setting up for multiple ganks. It was kind of his team that let him down at times. So, you know what? I'm gonna have faith in Motivate.
All right. We'll see if they're able to pull this one off. It's a big victory against Execration, who I think in the current form they're in, definitely one of the teams that are at threat of taking those higher placings in the group stages. It's a very difficult ward to get rid of on Bob. I mean, they know they have vision
30
somewhere
seconds
mid,
to battle.
but on his side is... Yeah, on his side it's not easy. I think even Leaf is pinging out the potential of Bob placing the ward up there. I don't know if they saw... actually, Dai got their ward faster.
Yeah, I mean, he would have used the Illusory Orb to get out faster, right?
Alright, top lane. Masros and Tigger. Gonna take a decent amount of damage, honestly. This missile into the thread of the Brain Sap that Vincenzo hasn't used just yet, and so they do okay to be able to trade evenly here. Will be a 3-for-1 in the boundary rune, so favoring Motivate.
Be careful not to line up, though, for the Impale. Tigger could look to go for the turnaround potential here. Wants to get the double value. Don't think he'll get it, though. That was 3 runes going Motivate's way.
Yeah, off to, you'll take that. Couple last hits for all the lads. A little bit of gold they can ferry out now to help with their lane. So we get to see down bottom, Tino on the Painkiller and Shanks on the Coddle, but gonna run into a bit of a blockade in the tree line as Leaf can KMP. Can do some early damage into the Shanks Coddle, so very nicely done. As how does this support matchup actually shape up with the Pugner and Coddle in regards to the lane? Is Leaf going to be able to bully out the Keeper, or is it still difficult for the Pugner?
I think so. I think he's going to be able to do a pretty decent job. You match him for movement speed, you beat him in right clicks, he was able to snipe the regen coming out for Tino as well. So, yeah, I think he's very happy. That's the last tango that they've used.
Oh, gotcha, boy. That's huge in our top lane. Mastros and Tigger get a kill as well, and what's going on?
No regen, that's what happens. I think that's just Tigger hitting all those skill shots. I counted 3 so far that he's landed right on the money. So very nicely done by this Nyx assassin.
Well, not only do they get the kill mid, they get a kill top on Vincenzo, and they get a kill bottom on Tino. So, Motivate, they flipped the switch after that last game.
Would you say they're motivated?
You could say they're motivated. I hope the motivation continues, though.
Got to impress. They're not tied down by the shack. We're still calling them motivate.
Yeah, well,
They're not tied down by the shackles of the motivate organization anymore. Not to say that it's like restrictive or anything like that, but you know what I mean. They're putting their best foot forward to say, hey, someone else, pick us up.
well, they haven't. The form's been a bit lacking recently. It's unfortunate though, because we've seen Motivate be at some really scary levels as a team. Moment they are off to a flying start. Gacha Boys still continuing to have a very good lane versus the Puck, which is honestly not a lane I would expect to be really storm favored. I thought it was off kind of more even, to be honest, but Gacha Boys proving that not to be the case.
Bob even died the first time. Like, he died well behind his tier 1 tower. Was it just a really long right click with overload?
Yeah, it was an overload, and then he got one more right click off afterwards, because I don't know, he must have. It was still only at level 2, so it's not like he vortexed onto a creep wave to get a little bit of extra damage or anything, so it must have just outplayed the lane. I mean, this is something we do come to love about Gacha Boy. It's one of his best heroes, level 30 on the Storm Spirit, Grandmaster, so he does know the little ins and outs and how he can manipulate lanes to his advantage. And there's top lane, Vincenzo
Dire's structures
should
are
end up
fortified.
going down. They got 2 points in the thirst to continue the chase, but Vincenzo Nightmare's gonna buy him some time. The safety of the tower. Mashos will still dive though. No cares in the world thanks to all this movement speed. Palos hasn't leveled up anything else but the homing missile just yet, so still indecisive.
Yeah. I don't think he's indecisive. I think he just wants to not get carapaced, so he might be, I don't know, leaving his options open, considering it's not really going to impact the laning stage in a positive way at all.
We'll see if they can. Yeah, already Shanks is starting to make some stacks. I think that's in fact a triple the hard and the ancient, so it's already looking good signs here for them to be able to get their farm over on their cores, and well, Leaf's actually going to start to move over and block up the ancients. So at least they won't have this to be able to stack up now.
Yeah, all lanes going quite well. I mean, particularly mid. That's the one that I'm really surprised about. A little bit shocked that Bob hasn't opted to go into Magic Stick or anything like that, to be able to counter out the constant ability spam that Storm Spirit inevitably does. Hasn't really taken the small camp at all either. In that you mentioned what we love about Gacha Boys, always wanting to go for the outplays. Bob is very much in the same mold too. You know, if the enemy team got really lucky with a great power rune, he'll try and make the play to take away its impact, even if it means him playing at a disadvantage.
Again, we always mention kind of the egos and the position twos. If they can win a losing matchup, then just get a little bit
Next
more.
pub, they'll let you know about it.
Yeah, exactly.
I know Gacha Boy in particular specifically has on his avoid list every other mid laner in SCA that's at the top level just because he wants mid. That is his position.
Well, means you don't have many avoids left for all the other people you need to avoid.
The
but-
griefers, yeah.
Yeah, no, I completely understand. I know I've heard a lot of other people like to do that as well, just because you want to be practicing your role, especially in
Radiant
pubs. But
structures are
in pro
fortified.
games, they love to continue giving him the Storm Spirit. What we've seen it 3 times so far now through the pro series is you do see how he's respecting Bob though, especially with coil up and 1 rotation. There is always a vulnerability there to the Storm.
And it is such a vital power rune lineup as well, as Leaf made the rotation through to make sure that even if it wasn't the Storm picking it up, it wasn't stolen away by Execration's side. Especially with KMP playing quite low on HP down on this bottom side. He'll get the salve from Leaf as well as a
Dire's
Tango.
courier has been killed.
But, I mean, the fact that Tino has been able to get, not
Oh,
necessarily farm, but levels is pretty good.
man, poor old
I'm the
Shanks.
career.
He tried to he tried to D-ward, unblock the ancients, but look at the sentry. It's just out of range. Like, just out of range. Oh, no. Oh, you hate to see it. Oh, at least look at the hard stack.
I'm kind of surprised about that. Like, there's definitely a spot that you can put where it covers the entire ancient area. Tino might be looking for a bit of an aggressive play, but just can't do it anymore into the Nether Ward.
Yeah, only 1 point, but we're seeing that value point. Yeah, Nether Ward is quite a difficult way for you to play into. The lane, the game, and even in the lane, like we're saying, it's how much magic resistance? Just 10% more spell damage reduction, I should say. And early on, that's a lot for Tino.
Got to remember that it's spell, not
Yeah.
magic. So basically, any ability that you use is going to get reduced.
Very true. Top lane. Palace is in trouble. An early rotation from Gotcha Boy and an easy kill. No messing around for Motivate. 5 kills early on in this game and a pretty hefty net worth lead too.
Just immediately looking to come back to mid after that. You know, my job is done here. I did a zip basically across half the map, and I'm still only on half mana at 8 minutes in.
What do you mean? You're making it sound like something's wrong with that?
Absolutely not. Why? Oh, no, not if they could steal this away, though. They do just have vision of him taking it, but it's going to come a little bit too late for them to do anything about it.
Stacks on stacks.
Rich get richer.
Yes, sir. Top lane, Mastros should still end up being killed off. Palos then end up going to the 3 points of the Rock Barrage, so gets a bit of a streak. You know, this is why you feed over kills in the lane, because once you get the level 6, you love to get that streak back. So big brain play from Execration for their first kill.
Yeah, playing the long game. Lose the battle, win the war.
Yeah, 100%. We got a lot from it. 351. Palace is well and truly on his way towards a Dragonlance. Unfortunately, not having that hard stack is going to slow him down a little bit. But mid lane, Bob coils out. Nice read, though, from Gotcha Boy. Just instantly breaking the coil. Recognizing they're going to be a bit too late to follow up. Mastros is still taking the brunt to the force here. Tino's done exceptional with his Rolling Thunder. But as soon as it expires, they ruptured him up. And there will be no escape for the Pangolier.
Protecting your Storm Spirit very early. We talk about those kill streaks. He's got one for himself. Actually, never mind. He's just got the 1 kill. I've got the some words covering it. So he just wants to make sure that he's consistently staying out on the map, right? You've given a little bit of more of this farm over to Leaf, or notably experience. So he's about to hit his level 6. And he'll be ready to just join together with the rest of his team and make Storm Spirit have a greater impact than he already has. Free kill onto Vincenzo.
They've got a lot of wards to play with up top on Motivate. The Cliff Ward freshly placed, the one in the lane as well. So really looking to prioritize these rotations up here.
See Tigger rotating through. Not going to get much more than that. He does need to hit onto that level 6 so that he only needs to play around the sentries as Chaboy. He sees Palace in the general area. Here we go. This is the impact of having Leaf around.
It's not even like they're at a threat of getting the kill because Gotcha Boy's resources. Or he had a regen actually, but it's just important that you're taking away some of the economy that the Gyrocopter can get. You're forcing him not to freely be farming and actually has to be kind of in the back of his mind thinking about, you know, are they going to be rotating to me? Can they kill me? And instead of just kind of brain off me hit creep.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I don't think you can ask for a much better game from a Storm Spirit, right? Won the lane pretty handily. Made a couple of rotations towards the top side. Is helping push out this this top tower. Giving a lot more space for your supports to get farmed because your capability of jungling, stealing away 2 big jungle stacks. He's doing really well.
Well, they are getting some damage into bottom though for Execration, but the TPs are starting to rain on down. And as soon as Tino's ruptured, he just cannot have a fight. Oh, Gotcha Boy just a little bit too late to get that Vortex, but you see Motivate, at least with how they're looking to play this game, is constant. Oh no, they smoke
they
directly
smoked.
underneath. Great reactions with a phase shift from Bob, but Shanks will not have this capability. Oh, Willie, blinding light's gonna prove to be an issue. What the what?
That's stupid. He doesn't even have tranquils yet, man. Come on.
He definitely wouldn't have died, but it's just funny to see him just run out of the blood right, and like when he shouldn't have. He was on the other edge of it pretty much as Tigger. Spike Carapace. Nice play from Bob with the phase shift. Tigger's going to still end up going down, and well, Vincenzo's got a +1. They will not be required to drop the Fiend's Grip for this kill, and Bob's even going to get lucky with the power rune, so there are some nice sequence of events favoring Execration.
Yeah, for sure. It's still that 4K net worth lead, though, and you've still got a Tiny that has basically been non-committal to anything that's happening. He's now got that top lane to be able to play with. No one wants to come up here because they can't really farm it safely outside of the Puck, and Puck's the one that needs to be making the plays.
And they're doing that,
Top
though.
For it. Yeah.
Because they have the Fiend's Grip, but they're closing onto KMP's location, so there'd always be a cancel.
Yeah.
Which we haven't really spoken too much about KMP, honestly, and it's a much better start to the Tiny this game. We see he has the Moonshard now, and has 2 minutes now to be able to work towards the Ag Shard, but he's still got a triple stack, it looks like, at the Ancient, so he will get that in no time.
Yeah, he'll get it really easily. Probably halfway towards his next item, whatever that may be. Honestly, anything is good, right? Shadowblade, Blink Dagger, both very, very valid this game.
Oh, Bob? Might be in trouble, actually. Oh, beautiful spike. Carapace, Tigger. You were saying at the start that it was eyes on Tigger and how he could kind of execute the Nyx Assassin. 1-1-4 at the moment, and well, maybe that play can give him some confidence and kind of put a pep in his step to have some more impact through the early game.
Yeah, he's playing really well. The kill in the lane, constantly looking to set up onto people like this this Puck. That's the real one that you need to be mindful of.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
It's like KNP might even be skipping the Aghanim Shard. He's already got the Blink Dagger queued up. No Shard.
Okay.
In same area. I don't hate it, just because you probably don't need to, get 50 million bashes to be able to win a team fight. And the Blink Dagger is going to enable you to get, kills, which gets you towers, which then gets you your Aghanim Shard, right? So it feels like the relative value for it is a little bit lower than in some previous games when you have to fight into, I don't know, a Lifestealer or a Troll or a TA.
Zipping from Gacha Boy. The Vincenzo, the Blink would come in handy at the moment. They got to be cautious because Gacha Boy's expended all of his men up, but Bob, oh no. They get the kill on Leaf, but the consequences, Tino. He's got no follow-up as well, so Execration are going to lose another 2 heroes, only at the price for 1.
Poor Pugner going down to the Witchblade damage, and yeah, it's certainly not worth trading your life for that sort of result. Has the Egg Shard queued up now on KNP, and he does actually go back for it. Maybe thinking that if he was the one that claimed all those kills and had enough of the Blink Dagger, he could just keep the aggression going. Not gonna happen, though.
Finally, they've been able to get rid of that ward, so they will not have as much vision to be able to play with by the top outpost here from Motivate. Pelos has really found his first big item into the Scepter, so disassemble the Dragon Lance. And we'll see. This is definitely an item to ramp up the Gyrocopter's farming speed, so it maybe feels like it was required to keep up with the Tiny.
Yeah, I mean, there weren't many cores left, to be honest, right? So feels like done more out of necessity as opposed to actually wanting to. Gyrocopter is a hero that Palos knows how to play pretty well. Laning stage didn't go amazing for him, but certainly capable of taking over a game if you get the right supporting cast.
Gotcha Boy. Gonna run into Vincenzo. And there's not a trade killer. Maybe they can eye up Bob. Bob's gonna give him a little bit of repositioning, and it looks like that's not a high ground they want to brute force their way into, so Again, Motivate just to pick off on a support, but you take a look at what's happening across the map. KMP. Now, we just mentioned the Aghanim Shard that he picked up, and he's already got 1,200 gold in the bank. Back to mid, though. Coil's out for Bob. Tino should have the chain control, but without dealing with Leaf, it offers a window for Garchaboy to pop the BKB, and now he's actually even going to zip on for Bob. So we're going to be cautious. Tigger's hunting. They won't have the control. Maybe Tino's going to be the person they're eyeing up instead. Swashbuckle in a couple of seconds. Garchaboy doesn't have the mana, but I'll get the kill nonetheless before the Swash to reset his positioning.
Very nice. And of course, Garchaboy just able to stay out there with the healing salve being used in onto Leaf. You get some of that free life drain back, and well, you know it, Storm Spirit's pretty damn ready to just keep on going. So dumb. I mean, I love it personally, but it's still so dumb.
Yeah. You been playing the Pugna much?
Yeah, it's been alright. You just feel like one of those supports that actually can take over the game, you know, like your influence is actually really impactful.
It just, in what regard? In a regard where you're so helpful for your cause to be able to keep them on the map, or even just the toolkit in general with fights and everything else?
Well, we know what mid laners and position ones are like. They're greedy. They think everything revolves around them. So if you just play into that and say, hey, come to me, I'll keep you being amazing, then they're more likely to listen to you, and then you win as a result.
Oh, okay. Asaros gets a glimpse of Tino. We see that the Pangli it can be difficult to play into this matchup. He's going Blink Shard yours, so
Shanks has to be careful as well. He's positioning himself just to be able to protect this tower. Actually, Shanks is, what, 0, 0, and 1? So hasn't been involved, hasn't got value out of that urn, like I was talking about with the mid coddle. And honestly, as a position 4, he doesn't, like, for a Nyx to have more farm than you, that's a big deal.
yeah. How is that actually happening?
Yeah, I don't know.
They do only have one tower on Dire, but I guess Radiant only have one tower. But maybe more bounties, more kill involvement, like you said. Top lane KMP might be in trouble. Dire starting to move, but actually look at the read from Motivate.
Radiant are scanning.
Gonna be on the mark shortly with this scan. Bob leading the charge. They have a sentry nearby, so Bob's gonna get confirmation and instant Fiend's Grip. As Garchaboy's a little bit too late to go for the counter. And with the Rupture on cooldown, Tino might have a free fight with this Rolling Thunder. It's soon to be back available. And there we go. Now out on Tino, so he has to retreat to the north. But Garchaboy hunting, and KMP instantly follows in pursuit as well, as Palos can do nothing. Scepter without the BKB, so he can't stand his ground, and man fight is Motivate. Find 3.
Very nicely done. Great connections coming through from KMP as well. He's not one of those cores that, you know, gets his aggressive items and then goes straight on back to the jungle. Really wants to make them pay.
Yeah, with, of course, the beautiful thing about the Tiny is how active you can get early. Get this very, very big spike that KMP is at. I'm just all eyes on how Motivate can get Roshan, because it seems like they're not in a position where you can take T2. Maybe with a one fight right next to T2 tower you can, but I don't think they can brute force down a T2 tower. So you have to have some respect for Execration.
I don't know, man. You got a Tiny.
Yeah.
Like, it is very possible. KMP is just hanging up on this top side. I've seen in the past couple of fights as well, Massa's been giving the Blood Rage over the Tiny just to amp up his attack speed even further.
How much is it? 180. Oh boy.
Yeah, it's pretty
Dire's
good.
middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, Moonshards. Oh, mid lane. Oh, what? Take out. How? Oh no. I mean, it's the Nyx into the puck. So it is not a fun matchup to play into, but... And you see, KMP with that Blink Dagger after the Aghanim Shard, and our top lane, Garchaboy is even ran into the Keep of the Light. So Motivate. Pick off after pick off across the map, and looks like
No
now...
glyph.
Yeah.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Keep the push going. I'm sure he's saying to Garchaboy, oh, Leaf, got to be careful that you don't get picked off here by the Pango. I try and swashbuckle you in the trees, but Well, that's going to be the tier 2 gone. So outposts now available for Motivate.Trust. They could very easily transition this into Roshan, considering the vision that they have in this dire triangle area. They'll know everything that's going on.
Do you think they need to pick off though beforehand? Because it's
Nah.
still... Okay. I was gonna say it's a bit
They
scary.
know everything, man.
Illusion.
There
He
is-
got a Nyx, right? He doesn't need to be hitting Roshan. He could just be walking around in Vendetta around those wards that you've got, breaking any smokes that might be coming your way.
Yeah, that would be very difficult then for Execration. If they smoke up, all of a sudden Nyx pops a smoke, then you got Storm jumping, you got Tiny following up. Because for Radiant, you wouldn't want to take a fight in the pit, not into the coil, the thunder, even close proximity for a lot of illuminate damage, the gyro AoE. So, but you see Tigger's doing that. He's just scouting out Execration. Gonna be a bit cautious. There are multiple sentries around the area, so Tigger's gonna go the long way around.
He has been playing really well so far, though. And yeah, like you were saying before, the Pangolier, Roche Pit's probably like the place that he wants to fight around against a Bloodseeker in particular, right? Because you could just go a very short distance, but still get that chain lockdown going.
Yeah, they're gonna smoke up. KMP currently, he's got BKB coming on the
Careful.
courier. KMP jumps straight into them. And the team's a little bit disconnected. Gacha Boy's got a zippy from far. He deals with the Fiend's Grip, but it doesn't matter. Oh no. Bob? Okay, Gacha Boy, but he's out of mana. And he doesn't have TP, just gets enough mana for the TP. Okay, Gacha Boy. Whew. That would have been really bad. You just give away KMP and Gacha Boy's life.
Yeah, for sure. Just getting a little bit too eager, right? I suppose they had those couple of observer wards, right? So they don't expect them to just be roaming around with a smoke about to gank you. But well, ends up costing him. It'll delay that Roche timer.
I like this.
What's Bloodseeker got?
I think he was going Basher BKB. Very interesting. Tigger.
Yeah, not opting for a little bit more of that reliable. Is Gleipnir reliable? I feel like it's kind of slow. Bob's not going to get caught out by it.
Maybe the nice thing about it is just that long range catch. Like if Tigger gets a stun, like Spike Carapace into stun, then if you're just a little bit too late to connect. Oh, Bob. Oh, Tigger just goes for the stun instead, and that's all they needed. That is all they needed. The one stun, and the rest of the team were ready to pounce.
This Tigger's playing so well. That's all it is for me, right? He's catching people out constantly. He had a great laning stage, setting up for that kill onto the gyro in lane. It's just great gameplay. Got to make sure he keeps moving around outside the pit to scout out any kind of smokes, but there aren't any smokes coming. They're just pushing into this bot lane. You've got the glyph available if you wanted to pop it. It is going to keep Execration pushed away from Motivate's tier 2.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Stupendous.
They're coming back. So it's going to be the first one. Rupture's on cooldown.
Radiant's bottom tower
See,
has fallen.
Mastros is going to win the man fight. There's heroes behind, but Tigger,
Tigger
great
again.
blink. They cancel the Fiend's Grip, but Palace is still going to win this. BKB soon to expire. Oh, it doesn't matter. He gets away the nick of time. Tino, though, oh, he's going to be caught out. Doesn't have an avenue to escape, so in the end, it will be a 2-for-2. You lose your tier 2 tower. I'll have a second after that fight as well, but Motivate. They're looking pretty good. Maybe it's game ones that we got to be like, oh yeah, Motivate, game ones.
Potentially. I mean, this Aghanim Shard on the Bloodseeker, unfortunately, he'd purchased it up, but didn't have it delivered at the time. So maybe that would have been the difference in being able to man fight. In that previous engagement, got so close there, waiting until the last second to use the magic wand, plus the BKB, praying for the bashes on Bloodseeker, just didn't get it.
Look at the position Bob's in as well. He's going to be forced to go A on disc. That is not...
Never ideal.
Yeah, like it's a great item on Puck. But like you said, it's not ideal. Second, well, third item, I should say, after the Blink Witchblade. So, but it's just kind of the position he's been put in. Nyx Assassin, you've been praising him this game. Tigger's done an exceptional job. is again somehow more farmed than a Keeper of the Light, which you would not expect at all. So it's just, yeah, it's honestly well deserved praise for Tigger, because I think without the Nyx Assassin unlocking their lineup, that would have been not as clean as what it's looking.
Really, and the thing that's most surprising to me is he made a lot of stacks. Of course, Motivate stole them away. I'm talking about Shanks here, and he's attempted to push out lanes. But there are often times where I just forget he's in the game altogether, right? Because it just feels like his impact isn't on the net worth charts, isn't on the kills and the deaths. He's kind of there towards the latter end of a lot of fights to toss the chakra magic onto a Pango, but that's oftentimes after he has already been ruptured, so he actually doesn't want to be able to make that space away from the team fight. So I think that's a big way for Execration to potentially come back into this, would be if Shanks is able to have a little bit more impact, maybe play around the puck somewhat more.
I feel like it's always tricky though with Bob being this far behind. Like you said, Shanks wants to play with Bob, but he can't really be. It's not a game where he's just in and out, clearing ways, being a nuisance on top of the supports, getting up in their face, multi-man coils for Shanks then to be able to give in the mana to be able to utilize. So, I mean, it still will offer a lot of burst potential. And it's a pretty good combo. We've got 3 really good heroes, honestly. You like to give the Trucker to, especially in the lane, refreshing the Rocket Barrage. The Pango is always nice if you go like a... It's more a utility Pango, I suppose, from Tino, instead of like a Diffusal, Bash, or anything like that. So refreshing Swash, it's not really going to do anything this game. But I think for Tino in particular, we do see he's starting to find the items. And I think we spoke about yesterday, just with the Bloodseeker Pango matchup and how it can kind of shape up. That was a game where we saw... I'm trying to remember who was playing the Pango, but they went first item Lincolns against the Bloodseeker matchup. And there's, again, 2 ways you can play it. It's that way or the way that you're just going on Tino at the moment. You just blink, shard, yours. All you do, you're going to try and roll in a really tight location where it doesn't get a much damage of the rupture. As long as you get 3 stuns out, you're happy. Like, your job is done with that ultimate.
Yeah, for sure. It feels like one of these heroes that's kind of like just a set and forget sort of thing once you're able to get that initial little bit of a burst. So we're still waiting. I mean, all right, let's talk about some other stuff. Majors coming up. Any early predictions? I mean, we've got basically 13 out of the 14 teams going there so far. Eastern Europe's on later tonight with one last team to go through. It'll be either Na'Vi, CIS Rejects, or Mind Games taking that last spot. Who you reckon's going to be top 4 in the tournament?
Boom. I'll put them in, but I'm always hesitant. I think Boom will do well, but I almost like don't want to jinx him. I know I won't really jinx Boom, but I think Boom. I think well, never mind, not LGD, no China teams. I thought LGD were gonna take it, honestly, so I'll go Boom.
It's one.
OG, Spirit, and EG Liquid. One of them. I don't know.
All right, I would say Boom, EG, Game and Gladiators, and Spirit.
Okay.
Not in any order, but we're praying for Boom number 1.
100% KMP. That's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage. Bob again. I think you got the Spy Carapace treatment. No, it was just... I didn't know if Tigger got the orb at the end, but not all KMP. And that's scary now when you're in a position where Tiny's just going to kill you through a whole combo.
They got this Siege Creep wave. Going to force the Glyph minimum. And, well, it's not even the 27-minute mark, so Tiny hasn't gotten his guaranteed Titan Sliver yet, whenever he's picked in a game. But you would have to say Quicksilver Amulet's pretty damn good as well. There we go. No disable. They do get the blinding light off onto him though.
Rolling out.
Honestly, kind of surprised with how much Palace has been able to keep up with the farm. He's only 600 behind the Tiny at this stage, and only 800 away from finishing up the attack so effective with that Aghanim Scepter, just because you're constantly using.
No, KMP's
some
gonna
form
run
of
into them
damage.
all. He actually wants to take the fight. This madman. KMP jumps in. He doesn't even pop a BKB, but they're onto Palace. A beautiful
Palace has a
stun from
BKB.
Tigger. Oh no, this is looking disastrous for Execration. They look to take the spy. Smoke this fall down to bottom, but it was KMP that just opened up onto them and let loose with all the damage.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Poor
attack.
Pugner. It takes like all of his HP to heal a Tiny for about a third of his. Just doing his best, you know.
That's all he could ever ask for, honestly. KMP's just happy enough to beat the health pool he is, and now he can just beat onto a tier 2 tower.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
So, I mean, he's working on Satanic, and he's pretty close to it as well, so... Is he gonna die when he gets Satanic? I don't think so.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Yeah, probably
Or
not.
In the
he
face,
would need to
gotcha,
get.
boy. Come on, man.
Well, I was about to say he could get full Fiend's
Dire's
grips, but
middle
not anymore.
tower is under attack.
Like, they're down and out. You just bullying him like that? You thought their base would be safe? Bob's gotta be a bit
Yeah.
cautious, I was gonna say. I don't know about that.
He's got Blink Dagger available. Ooh, not wanting to go forward too far. The Blinding Light keeping him away. 70% of attacks missed. Made sure to talent into it as well, to Shanks. It's just the Aegis. You can kind of afford to give this one up.
Oh, they're
as
gonna jump to the
they either
back line.
got-
Gotcha, boy. Doesn't get Tino before the Rolling Thunder. KMP's gonna blink back in once again. Satanic freshly delivered. And Palace can't stand his ground into this as Tino's also gonna die to the Rupture. So KMP's still happy. I mean, hasn't lost the Aegis just yet, so full set of barracks
Dire's middle
easily
tower
claimed.
has fallen.
Around for one more creep wave, and yep, they'll back off. So a couple of buybacks, one on each team, excuse me. But it's the Rex, that's the real goal there. Enfeeble preventing a lot of the damage coming through from the Tiny, of course, but also preventing the healing being put in onto him. I love this as well, by the way. No, not maxing out the brain sap. Enfeeble. Much more
Dire's
important
top
for being able to
tower
face
is
up into
under
this
attack.
Tiny.
A rolling stone.
You're taking a long fight, though. You would say that KMP is going to come out on top and going to have that Satanic and the BKB to be able to burst through both of those. Yeah, look what a difference it makes. 426 minus 220 with
Dire's
Enfeeble
top
on him.
tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has
Actually
fallen.
does more, because he was plus 89 before that. God, quick mass. 220, 89. 309 damage.
They're under
Enfeeble gets
502.
rid of. What?
What? Did I get it right?
No! 220 plus 89.
What, 300 and 502? That wasn't it?
What's the 500?
Dude, I'm just saying numbers. What do you, would you actually
I
think
know
I'm-
you are. I know you're trying to mess me up and you're not. It's not working.
You sure?
I'm positive.
I don't know. NA quick mass. It was.
NA?
Didn't sound like you
I'm
were
the
confident.
definition of AU.
What? I don't know. Is our mass good down here? Ugh.
Better than NA.
Oh, come on. I ain't gonna do them like that. Or the.
Can and will.
Radiant
Not even
are
on the.
scanning.
More than likely, NA's not even on the stream right now. He's doing them dirty. Come on.
That's how you do it. When they can't fight back is when you
I've
need
been
to
wanting
really
this.
call them out. Iron Sarge finished up for the Storm Spirit. He's got a haste and an arcane rune being used at the moment. Just looking to clean up a few of these neutral items. No Titan Sliver. They got one more chance though.
Bottom lane,
Come on,
Bob
Titan.
is getting trailed by
Oh,
Tigger. He's got
Tigger.
an A on this, so he should be okay.
They don't have a tower to TP2 either, which is another factor.
he's gonna
he
go
might
back to
just be looking
Tigger.
to interrupt TPs. He's just going to interrupt TPs.
Oh, what? Okay, there you go. A on disc out.
Ooh,
Radiant's bottom tower is
Just gonna go
under
west.
Oh.
Blink up in a couple of seconds. Bob should be okay now. Gotcha Boys used a lot of his mana. Back to mid though,
They haven't been able to
Tino.
get any kills in the meantime.
Rupture, so he cannot
Yeah.
retreat as KMP's just gonna jump with ease. Astro's proving that this Bloodseeker flex, very... We haven't
Bob's
really
still here, by the way. He's still trying to push. He'll do his best, but I'm not sure how successful it's going to be. That mid lane, I would imagine they're still going to escort in. Scatcha Boy clears out the wave on his own. Gotta watch that mid lane. I mean, Shanks, he can look to push it out along with the gyrocopter.
Palos is... So he's got Satanic himself. 4,000 net worth behind KMP. Is there an item that we're looking for Palos to be able to man fight the Tiny, or is it reliant on a lot of other factors?
I think you need to try and, I'd say, kill the Storm Spirit, and then that will stop him from... Well, what else does Bane have? Because Bane Fiend's gripping the Tiny is the win condition, basically. But we've seen time and time again, he's just dived on in, used the Electric Vortex, and it doesn't really matter. Do they have a Glimmer Cape at all? Yeah, I wouldn't hate him to buy even just the Shadow Amulet passive. Storm at the moment isn't holding on to any kind of detection, and that might just be enough to get you that one teamfight victory that can start to turn things around for you. But it's a 17k lead, and a lot of things need to go right.
Yeah, that's a tricky thing. A lot of things need to go right as long as hit bottom lane. Gotcha Boy, they know the Aeon's is on cooldown. Gotcha Boy, thanks to the Arcane, another one that he was able to utilize. And what do you know? He's pretty much full mana. Very cool.
Why? Why?
That was, I think, 5 seconds left until they had the Aeon disc. So perfect timing from Gotcha Boy. And now the top barracks, Tino's actually going to look to jump. Bob's going to buy back before they get reset, but KP has an opportunity for the BKB. He's able to reposition his Gotcha Boy to the backline, though. One support's gone. Second soon to be killed off as well as Gotcha Boy proving to be an issue, but KP still... He's on to Bob. Bob just bought back. He's got anything available. Blink in a couple of seconds. It's actually going to go towards Masro's direction, as that might just be game as Motivate... They've got no buybacks on Dire's side, so Motivate can instantly walk it down as Palace under siege. He's got Satanic, a little bit of life still, but I don't know if he's got the damage to go towards the Tiny. KP will get one kill. BKB soon to expire, but not fast enough. The cover will enable him to TP out.
Execration are notorious for not GGing out even in incredibly lost games, but I feel like this one is done. You need to pick a counter this Tiny earlier on.
Dire's structures are fortified.
They were left with nothing. Gyrocopter really just felt like, well, what might we be able to do okay with if we can get active early on? And it just never happened because Motivate had a great laning stage.
On to Palos. Satanic. And a hope to try and keep his life with his side gunning alive still, but he too doesn't have buyback, and now Tino's going to zip in, but Rupture's there, so well, Tino's just going to give away his own life, and we see this combo doesn't work. This combo does not work. Oh, alright, well you get the kill on the Storm Spirit, so silver lining, but it does not matter. There you go. Execration call it quits, and Motivate game one. It's beautifully done from them.
Very nicely done. Able to clean up that victory, give a bit of momentum again going into this second series of the day. Of course, they would be a little bit down with the news today of the roster drop, but certainly not impacting their gameplay all that much. Really good to see them come together with a solid draft. But why is a Tiny Storm Pugner allowed to be on a team? It's just, I don't know. You got to get rid of the DP. You got to get rid of the Medusa. It's almost reaching TI stages, right, where you want to go first pick again because something's going to slip through. You can get rid of, Storm, Tiny, and then pick a Death Prophet.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the point you mentioned because we've this patch. It's really been the only patch where Dire has a slight advantage over Radiant, and that's been a bit of a talking point, but. The first pick and second pick. Yeah, it's been a lot of second pick is what teams are prioritizing just because of those two picks at the later stages where you really just like at least having the 18th and 24th to end the draft. But yeah, like you're saying, I mean, this first pick is something that you might have to be considering just so you can get that meta pick and go from there, because they got 3 of them, and it was a really strong showing for Motivate nonetheless. The fact that they're able to take this game after a bit of a beatdown in their game 2 in the previous series, and Execration are no joke of a team as well. That's their first loss. They, again, the last 5 series they haven't lost. They hadn't even dropped a map in the last 5 series as well. So for Execration, they're going to lose this game 1, but we'll see if they're able to come back and tie the series after the break.